What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope everyone is doing well on a Friday, getting ready for week 8 of the college football season out there. So, yeah, guys, hope you are getting done with a busy work week and getting set for a great weekend of college football. Got a lot of great games coming up on the slate this weekend. So, overall, hope you guys are doing well. As always, guys, we appreciate you all listening to the show. You know where to find us. We're on pretty much everything out there. You want to follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, at BD Sportscast. You can follow our content there. If you listen to our shows through podcast only formats, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Amazon Music, all of that great stuff. You can just find a show there, and you can listen to all of our past and present episodes that we have on the slate for you all. And if you're listening to our simulcast on our Sunday, our live simulcast on Sundays on our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel at Breakdown Video Game Cast, where Chris and I are playing some video games. We appreciate that as well. As always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe to our social media platforms. It's very much appreciated as we continue to grow this community out there with you lovely folks. So definitely do that. Hype the videos if you can. We very much appreciate you guys' support with all you do here on the Breakdown Sportscast. As always, you know who I'm with, guys. I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, Kory? Doing just fine. Excited for this weekend. Plenty of top tier matchups, especially in the SEC. We got plenty of matchups, good matchups in the SEC, and then just across the whole college football landscape. Even some of the underrated matchups. I mean, we got some sleepers in there. Georgia Tech at Duke. Yeah, you got Old Dominion at James Madison. Old Coach Signetti's old stomping grounds. We see he done took off. He big time now at Indiana. Just throughout the whole slate, we got fun matchups. So this will be another top tier A1 weekend of college football, Kory.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned it, Chris. And, Kurt Signetti, Coach C, getting the bag before the weekend. Yeah, major bag alert. Shout out to him.
Well, he signed for $11 million.
Yeah, like look at him.
$93 million buyout. God.
Hey, Chris, me and you had talked about it on our last episode.
We did.
We called it. Like, why would you leave? Why would you go elsewhere when you're kicking ass, taking names where you're at right now? Let's have some fun, guys. Look, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
And if you have a couple of down seasons, what's a down season going to look like for Coach Steve, Kory? 8 wins?
Yeah.
It's Indiana. They will be just fine with 8 wins.
Exactly. Like, look, they probably already, getting set to, put a statue outside the stadium of this man. Like, this man is he putting Indiana on a map in football.
Yeah. No, Indiana is officially a football school now.
Yeah.
Like the basketball school is a thing of the 1900s, and I can't even say of the 2000s because Indiana's basketball program just ain't been right, over the last couple decades, up and down. But now, Indiana is officially a football school.
There you go. So you can go ahead and bank it, Bloomington fans, Indiana fans. Like, look, you're definitely a football school. You're out there with the big boys now. You might as well get ready year in and year out with some good old fashioned tailgating down there in Bloomington,
Hey,
and
and as
just
long
enjoy
as
some
Coach C
football.
is coaching, Corey, just wait till he really. I mean, there are good players at Indiana, but like as he continues to recruit and get his guys in there in the system, whether it's people he hand picks out the portal or high schoolers that he sees and develops, I don't think Indiana's going anywhere.
Not at all. I think he's in a great spot. He's surrounded around a lot of great, pipeline states. Chris, Michigan, Kentucky, the state of Ohio, Illinois. I mean, he can, pick and choose from a various array of states and garnish a lot of great talent out of those states and assemble some really good teams. So, yeah, I think this choice that Kurt Signetti made in re-signing with Indiana, a major contract, is definitely going to pay dividends out there for Indiana fans. I think you got a really good coach, and you're in for the long haul. And get ready for some really great seasons. And look, your down years, I think it's like 8 or 9 wins. That's not bad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you might get a 7-win season in there, but
Maybe so.
I'm with you. I think 8 wins will probably be the floor as long as Coach C is there, and I guarantee the year after he wins 8 games, he's coming for everybody's head. Like he's about to. He definitely isn't a guy who takes kindly to losing because he said it himself. All I do is win. Google me. You know what I'm saying? Like if that is what you are known for doing, I don't think that guy's going to sit back and accept down seasons, Corey. So yeah, shout out to Coach C in Indiana.
Absolutely. Uh, one other thing I just have to add in, Chris, before we start. I mean, is his agent Jimmy Sexton? Because man, when we hear about like Jimmy Sexton, we hear about deals like this. His name's always in the mix.
I don't know who his agent is, but he did that. It's to the point where he signed that sucker mid-season. This time he doing the off-season, Corey. He said, "Oh no, 11 million, go hey, what, I need to sign that. Break that here."
It's like, hey, bring me them papers. Bring me them papers. I get them signed before the weekend, baby. Look, let's go. Let's go. Oh man, I love it. You gotta love it, Chris.
Oh yeah, got to. And he's on a press run. He's been on the Joe Clatt show and everything.
I saw that. Look, I should have saw the signs then. I was like, he's about to sign. He's about to get the bag this week. He's about to sign a major deal. Oh man. But yeah, Chris. Definitely a great news to hear out there for Indiana fans. Coach Signetti getting that big contract. Are you all ready to delve into Week 8 of the college football season?
Let's do it.
All right. Great week ahead, folks. What do we have on the slate this week? Well, we'll go ahead and kick off Week 8 predictions with a game between the hedges, Chris. Georgia hosting Ole Miss. Georgia, the line right now is Georgia at 7.5. The over/under places it at 54.5 right now. So, interesting ball game, Chris, for Georgia, for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is definitely trying to make a statement in the SEC and trying to submit themselves as one of the top premier teams in the league this season.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a loss at all. They had a scare in Oxford a week ago against Washington State. Probably could have lost that game. It was definitely on the table. But they They took care of business. For Georgia, you already lost to Alabama. You already you already feel that sense, Chris, where Georgia fans don't want to see another loss. Georgia themselves don't want to get into a hole where they have two losses. So this is a very important game for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs this week to take care of business. And what way would it be if they can handle business against a Lane Kiffin team with a Trinidad Chambers that, outside of last week, has been superb. It has had pretty much 300 plus yard games
Mm-hmm.
throughout the whole season so far. Um, what are your thoughts about this game? Who wins and why?
Man, Kory, this is it's a fun matchup. Very interesting game because you look at how these two teams, like we look on paper at how they match up. Georgia has its struggles in the secondary. Um, this isn't your typical Georgia team. But you also know that even though this isn't a typical Georgia team, they are playing hard and they still have, I feel like, another gear, another level that they can hit. They might not be your powerhouse SEC champion or a national championship contender in my eyes. I don't see this team winning a national championship. Just be frank with you, being quite honest. But they are a really good team. And you feel like at some point they got to flex their muscle. That's going to be tough against Ole Miss because Ole Miss is a team that can hit the explosive plays, chunks the ball downfield, can expose this secondary, can expose Georgia for failing to get a consistent pass rush. This isn't your Georgia team that just lives in the backfield. That isn't what they are doing this year. Um, so I feel like some of Georgia's flaws cater to what Ole Miss likes to do. Ole Miss can run the ball. Georgia's run defense hasn't been just extremely stout this year either. So it's a question of what do you believe will happen? Do you think Ole Miss got exposed by Washington State, or did Ole Miss get a bucket of cold water poured on their face while they were asleep? And will that wake this team up? And will they play like the Ole Miss team that they potentially could be? I think that game against Washington State was the worst thing that could happen for Georgia this week. I think we will see an Ole Miss team walk into Sanford Stadium between the hedges on a mission and locked in. And I think that spells for a tough night for Georgia. I think Georgia will come ready to play. I think Georgia will flex his muscle at times in this game. I think this will be a back and forth affair. And despite this being Trinidad Chambers' first SEC road start, and what a start to have it, I think Ole Miss will get the win. I think it's going to be close. I say Ole Miss wins 30, we'll say 30 to 27. I think it's going to be a really tight game. Would not be shocked if Georgia wins, though, by any means. But Georgia is definitely capable of finally putting that game together that we know Kirby Smart and his teams do at some point in the season. Because Georgia has to be trending up. This team is not, Georgia has not played its best ball yet. But I also kind of feel like at some point, the flaws and mistakes that we see out of Georgia have to get exposed. And I feel like Ole Miss has the ability to expose them this weekend. I say Ole Miss gets a huge win for the program to let everybody know we really are officially here, beating LSU and Georgia in the same season. That puts the conference and the nation on alert. I think Ole Miss does so in this one, 30-27.
Well said, Chris. I look at this game and I definitely think that there's an opportunity for that to happen, Chris. We'll see what happens. If I had to put a mark on this game in particular, I think Georgia. I feel like the sense of urgency from Georgia is much higher than what it is at Ole Miss. I think right now, um, while Ole Miss is a really good team, something tells me that this is going to be the game that Georgia is going to, for the most part, control. I think they saw what happened last year, and they were probably kicking themselves and saying, "How do we let that game go?" I think this season, um, things could become a little bit different. Where, look, you're at home, you already lost your streak, your home win streak against Alabama a couple weeks ago. You really want Ole Miss to come in to make it worse? I think the pressure from just the team, the fans, Kory himself. I think they know what what they're getting into this weekend. I think last year, clearly you can tell they didn't know what they were getting into going into Oxford, and look what happened. Jackson Dart and company took care of business, and they won that game. Like they definitively won that game.
Yeah,
They took
easily.
Georgia to the
And
wood. Yeah, they took Georgia to the woodshed. So, as a result, Chris, I'm looking at this Georgia game, and I think Georgia's going to, they're going to be into a fight with Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to fight like hell, but I think in the end, Georgia will win this ball game, and they'll definitely um, show one of their best performances this season. Give me Georgia winning this ball game 35-24. I think that's going to be in the end score in this ball game.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. I would love to see that as someone who roots for Georgia, but man, I've seen so many Georgia teams, and I just look at this team, and it ain't necessarily copy and paste of last season's team, but boy, it ain't far off either. And
You're
I
right.
just I don't know. It's tough for me. It's tough for me because I see the flaws. I see the flaws, and they play hard. I know Kirby sees the flaws too, but I think they'll have to play their best game though. Because I really feel like Ole Miss will be locked in. That being on the verge of almost losing to Washington State, that's gonna wake you up.
It
We're
should.
gonna learn. Like, is Ole Miss legit or not this weekend? Because the LSU win is cool and all, but we know what we've been seeing from LSU this season, and it hasn't. It's not met our expectations. So this is another chance to really cement that you are a contender, especially beating a SEC powerhouse in their house. Won't be easy, but it's games like this that you have to make this leap, especially if you're Lane Kiffin and really cementing Ole Miss is, hey, we are contenders. Like we've had success over the last few years, but you got to win this one for the program to take that next step and really practice what you preach. Because this is the game that when you're recruiting guys, you're like, we need you so we can make that next step. This is the game that you were in somebody's living room recruiting them, telling them that I need you for. Is this one? So we're about to see, has Ole Miss really arrived?
Yeah, have they arrived? Is this Ole Miss team as for real as the country says they are? Are they an actual threat? inside the top 12, and can they legitimately make a run in the college football playoff? We will see. We will see. I'm excited about this game. I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams, Chris. This should be an interesting ball game because I think for both teams, they're definitely fighting for an opportunity in Atlanta in the 12-team playoff for sure. But for different reasons, you can definitely tell. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited, man. It should be a fun one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on to our next game?
Nah, we can keep it pushing.
All right. Well, moving along, folks. From one SEC game, Chris, to another. The third Saturday in October. Tennessee taking on Alabama in Tuscaloosa, T-Town, Alabama. The line right now, Chris, has Alabama at 7.5. Over under is at 59.5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Chris, I'll let you go ahead and give your thoughts on this game. What have you been thinking about all week in regards to Josh Heupel taking on Kalen DeBoer in this
Man, oh
matchup?
man, this will be a fun one. And I know the over under is pretty high, but I feel like we finna get one of them games. It's gonna be reminiscent of what Bryce Young and Hendon Hooker going at it. Um, when that was with that game, that was that shootout that they had in Tennessee. Um,
It's like around 2022.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get some points put on the board in this one. Kory, I thought a lot about this game. When you look at the on paper, Alabama is one of the worst teams in the nation with this secondary at giving up explosives. I believe they're ranked 126th in the nation. And Tennessee is top 10 at taking advantage of explosive plays. That ain't a good recipe for Alabama secondary. We saw Missouri had their chances to take advantage of this secondary. Missouri failed to do so. Um, Even though it's on the road, even though it's in T-Town, I think Tennessee will have success on offense. There were a lot of plays to be made in last year's game because I went back and looked at last year's game too, just to get a feel, just kind of, because this rivalry is one of a kind. You know what I'm saying? It's officially back. So there's definitely a unique feel to these two teams when they match up. Man, Tennessee could have blew Alabama out off the field last year. I mean, Nico was missing deep pass after deep pass, and I feel like those same plays are going to be there to make one just because that's Tennessee's system, but also because Alabama struggles with the deep ball. Um, so I think Tennessee will put up points, but I also think Alabama's going to put up points. Hey man, you got to give the respect to Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson's here.
He's
And the
him.
plays that Jalen Milroe struggled with last year, Ty Simpson ain't struggling with them.
No, you're absolutely right, Chris. That like, look, Ty Simpson he's been balling. He has figured out Kalen Bower's offense so quickly, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's been pressured, when he's been put under pressure, I hardly can't tell. This man looks cool, calm, and collected in that pocket. He steps up and makes the tough throws. He takes the hits.
Mm-hmm.
He has definitely gained my respect on that team. and you can definitely tell he's gained respect from his teammates on that team. He's balling
They
right
know
now.
what they got with him.
Yeah,
He's the man for real. Like
yeah.
he definitely was doing his thing in practice, and it's showing in the games. Um, it's gonna be a good old fashioned shootout. This ain't your the SEC football we grew up watching. This ain't your late 2000s Alabama's defense either. You know, prime Nick Saban defenses. This ain't that. Um, these two teams will put up points, and I tend to favor Tennessee to find a way. I think they'll have the ball last. I think they'll put points on the board. 48-45 is my final score. Alabama has a great team, a great roster. But at some point, somebody will take advantage of this team's flaws. And I think Tennessee has the manpower to do so. They have a great D line that can cause a sack, steal a possession in this game. They got some athletic wide receivers that can catch some deep bombs as well. I think Tennessee wins a high scoring game. Bama's offense will put up points. Ty Simpson will throw for 300 yards and 3 TDs. It's going to be a fun game. But this defense will be the reason. Bama's defense will be the reason they lose the game, despite no matter how well the offense plays. And I think Tennessee has the offense to expose them and do that. I say the ball's by 3, 48-45.
Won't be easy, but Vols win. That's an interesting take, Chris. Yeah, I mean, what I've seen so far from Joey Aguilar, he conducts that offense like a pro. Looks really good in the pocket. He's a great runner. When he buys time and he gets into wide open spaces. Um, just like Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson can do the same thing. He can hurt you with his legs at times if he
Uh-huh.
needs to. The funny thing
Uh-huh.
is he doesn't have to. That the offensive line is playing much better for Alabama since that first game of the season against FSU.
And Ty Simpson might have to, real quick, Kory, not to cut you off, but Jam Miller,
Yeah,
we don't know about his status
I
with the
know.
concussion.
Yeah,
So that's also something else to factor.
yeah. Which does it's unfortunate that a guy like Jam Miller can can get injured in a before a game of this magnitude. They would love to have him available for this ball game, but it seems like that won't be the case this weekend. When it comes down to it, Chris, for Tennessee, for their sake, you don't have to worry about a guy like Jam Miller that could pummel you if you're not ready to play in the trenches in this game. So I think that's definitely a blow for Alabama's run game, because if there's one thing we can talk about that definitely has question marks, Chris, with Alabama, is their run game. When they're healthy, you just wish you could see a little bit more. And there's times that we've seen Jam Miller run the ball. He showcases that skill set of a really great Alabama running back. But it just feels like they're not utilizing him and the run game effectively enough. It looks like they're bailing out Chris in terms of running the football and just saying, hey, look, we'll just go ahead and just throw the football and try to beat you that way. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they're winning these games, Chris. But they're winning them very closely. They're not taking the air out of the football and running with a purpose. And until I see that, honestly, that's one of the things that could potentially become Alabama's downfall if they're not careful. Right now, you're having guys stepping up to the plate at receiver for Bama, which is all well and fine, but gotta have that run game at the end of the day. It's one thing to keep throwing it to Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, all of those guys. There's another thing of not being able to utilize your strengths with the running game. So I think as a result, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and put Tennessee on top of Alabama in this ball game. It's crazy to say. I'm going to go ahead and say Tennessee wins this game 42-35. Late game touchdown by Tennessee keeps them ahead, and they're going to close out with a pretty decisive defensive performance to keep the lead, and I think that'll be the ball game there.
I can see that for sure. I think something that I think we all should look at in this matchup and keep our eyes peeled for that I think will be underrated.
Mm-hmm.
How does Alabama's right side of the offensive line hold up against Tennessee, especially in pass protection? Tennessee leads the SEC in sacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tennessee
They're really
leads
good.
Caden Proctor is a great lineman. He should have the left side of that line doing fine. Can the right side hold up against this D line that causes ruckus and havoc? That I will be keeping my eyes peeled for. I think that can ultimately be the difference in this game. We saw Missouri got a strip sack fumble to start the second half against Alabama. Who's to say Tennessee isn't capable of pulling off similar play in this game at some point? So I want to see how that right side of the line holds up, and if Ty Simpson has enough time to make these Heisman-like plays that he's been able to do so far this season.
Agreed. Yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting storyline that we'll definitely partake in, Chris, because I want to see what happens with both of these two and in the way they perform. Man, it's I just look at Tennessee, man, with what they have. I think surely there's no way that they could lose this ball game. And I'm pulling for them to handle their business. It won't be easy because playing at Alabama is not easy at all. But I definitely see from a talent standpoint, you have a guy like Joey Aguilar that's been playing very well this season. I just think I think they're a little bit closer ahead than Alabama is right now in terms of going far and possibly getting into Atlanta.
I'm ready to see how it plays out. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun. Me and you are gonna be talking about this game. Of course, what is this? It's a 6:30 game. Is it on ABC? Yep.
I believe so.
Yeah, 6:30 on ABC. So, yeah, this is definitely gonna be a game that me and you are gonna be watching. We're gonna be talking about in the background, and yeah, we can't wait to talk about this game on our live Sunday episode coming up this weekend.
Sir.
So yeah. Anything else, Chris, you want to mention about this game before we move on to our final premier game of the week?
Let's do it.
All right. As always, guys, we appreciate you guys listening to the show. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe to the show. Let us know what is your favorite game of the week in Week 8 of the college football season. So now, Chris, our final premier matchup. This one's interesting. Utah traveling to BYU. The line right now has Utah as a 3.5 point favorite. The over under is at 48.5. I've been thinking about this game this week so far, Chris. I watched BYU in Arizona this past weekend, and that game went down to the wire. BYU snuck out of that game with the W, and now Coach Satake and them riding high. BYU is a really good football team, man, and just you gotta shout out to how the way Coach Satake, keeps these guys afloat, keeps these guys fighting in these games because man, you can watch BYU. They be in some dog fights in the Big 12 at times, man. Like it just happens. It just happens where they're literally in these dog fights, but they find ways to win ball games. And look, you gotta give credit where credit is due, Chris. They're doing well, 6-0, 3-0 in conference play. Bear Bachmeyer, it's another thing about BYU. Where do they get these quarterbacks in their names? Like, it's amazing. I love it. He's playing very well this season. Only has 3 interceptions right now. And yeah, I think I think BYU has a big shot to win this ball game to keep rolling this season. And hey, if they can do that, I think you can pretty much see BYU will definitively be the top team in the Big 12, jockeying for a shot for the Big 12 championship. So, what are your thoughts, Chris?
Fun game, tough game. This will be a absolute slobber knocker, tussle, a scrap. 2 physical teams that pride themselves on dominating at the line of scrimmage. You know, um, I feel like Utah. This will be BYU's first real test of the season to me. Utah is a level above the competition BYU has played so far, which is why they are the favorite, even though they're on the road in this one. BYU definitely has what it takes to win this game. Things get very rowdy out there in Utah. That place gets loud, extremely loud. And if Utah falls behind early, BYU can jump ahead and make life very tough for Utah to execute its game plan. Because Utah isn't normally a team that's built to come from behind. They have a style of play that caters to them getting ahead, holding the lead, ultimately wearing you down. And if they blow you out, it happens kind of late in the game. I don't see a blowout on this one. I do see Utah flexing its muscle defensively and winning a hard-fought battle in this one. I think it's going to be a 23-20 kind of game. I think this one's going to be low scoring, real close, very competitive. I think Utah finds a way to win. I'm not going to hold that loss to Tech against Utah. And I'm not going to disrespect BYU. BYU is a very good team, deserves to be ranked. I just feel like Utah will find a way to win this one. This feels like a Utah special. Yeah, we lost earlier in the season. Yeah, we're going on the road. But this is a chance for them to remind everybody, we're Utah. You know what we do. It ain't pretty, but it's effective. And so I think kind of similar to how you feel about Georgia will be against Ole Miss. I think this is Utah's chance to have that kind of game and to ultimately leave with the win. I'm going to go with the Utes winning a close, tough battle.
All right. Yeah, look, I think Devin Dampier, he's had his struggles, he's had his moments where he's been a pretty good quarterback, and I think he's still a really good quarterback in this league, and he's going to do great things for Utah. I think that this could potentially be a moment for Dampier and Utah to make a statement. Will they? I think they.
That's why we play the game.
I think that's why you play the games, Chris. I think overall, I think they're going to get close. I think BYU, until I find BYU just break under pressure, I still gotta go with the Cougs. I think
Hey man, it's Big 12 football. You know, we know how this thing is in any given Saturday when it comes to the Big 12.
absolutely, absolutely, Chris. I think BYU man is playing some really good football right now, and Utah. I think they're going to have to squeeze as much as they can out of their team to get the victory. I think they have the horses to do it. I think they definitely can pull off the upset against BYU. It's just man, Bear Bachmeier. He's a guy that can get you, just like when we talked about with Ty Simpson, with his legs and his arm. Mostly his legs. Can Utah's defense find a way to contain and stop Bear Bachmeier? Because if they can, Chris, I think they have an opportunity to win this ball game. I think it's right there, front and center for them to control this ball game and potentially win it. So, if I had to put a score, I'm going to go ahead and say this will be a little bit of a lower score in affair. I'll go ahead and say BYU wins this game 24-21 by a field goal. I think Bear Bachmeier and them, try downfield, get in good field goal range, get a good field goal in, and they win the ball game in a close one, in a dog fight. I think this is what this game is.
Exactly. No, you look at it, and we know how the game is going to be played. We're just waiting to see how it plays out. We know what kind of game it's going to be. It's just a matter of who's going to be the one that gets to win.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Chris, and I think that's how the Big 12 is. I think that's how this game is going to be. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And hey, I think you got two really good quarterbacks in the Big 12 league facing off against one another. I think this is going to make for some good football viewing this weekend. So, and hey, that's what you get in the Big 12, folks. You get games like this.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. Should be a great game indeed. Can't wait for us to talk about this one on our live show coming up this Sunday. Should be a fun one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on to Bolton's bets for Week 8?
Nah, we can keep it rolling.
All right. Well, now, folks, you know what time it is. It's time for Bolton's bets, Week 8 of the college football season. If you're trying to hit that parlay this week, trying to make a little extra cash, you know what Chris does. Chris got you covered with some of his top games of the week. So, Chris, let's go ahead and kick it off. Week 8, Bolton's bets. We have Ohio State taking on Wisconsin. The line right now, Chris, has OSU as a 25.5-point favorite. Over under is at 41.5. You got Ohio State winning this one, Chris. Let us know why.
Yeah. Well, because Ohio State is probably the best team in the nation. Just complete offensively and defensively. They can play this game at Wisconsin, be in Michigan, Alaska, Antarctica, South America, Ireland, Iran, Afghanistan, Australia, New Zealand. It doesn't matter. Thailand. I'm gonna tell you, Ohio State is going to cover and put the spankies on Wisconsin. Um, Wisconsin's just bad. It's not a good team. And when you get a really bad team going up against a really good team, I know they're conference foes. I know the game is at Wisconsin. Don't matter. Give me Ohio State by annihilation.
In annihilation, you will get, folks. Yeah, man. Wisconsin has definitely been not the team that we thought we would get the last couple of years with Luke Fickell being the head coach. And man, it kind of makes you wonder. It probably makes him wonder, man. Maybe I should have stayed at Cincinnati.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, definitely. And look, you see what Satterfield's doing at Cincy. He got that thing back rolling.
Yeah, look.
Top 25.
Look, they humming over there in Cincinnati right now. Look, they playing some good football. So yeah, man.
So, yeah. I ain't got too much more to say about this one. It's really self-explanatory.
Yes, it is. Oh man. Sorry, Wisconsin fans. But yeah, Ohio State got them covering and winning. So yeah. Moving along, Chris, you got LSU taking on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, the line right now is 2.5. Over under is at 48.5. Let us know what you think about Vanderbilt in this one, Chris.
This is the first time ever with these two teams matching up. And Vandy is the favorite. I mean, it just tells you what crazy world of college football we're living in now.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt is actually favored to beat LSU in football.
I know, and these two don't play against each other that often.
They don't. But they'll play each other. I feel like some more now with how the conference has been expanded and no longer having divisions.
Right.
Because these would be two teams on in separate divisions back in the good old days.
Yeah. There you go.
But what an interesting game we have here, Kory. If you would have told if my future self could go back in time and tell me in the preseason, Chris, you will be picking Vanderbilt to beat LSU, I would have told myself, ain't no way. I like Vandy, but do you see this LSU team? Like, really? I'm picking Vandy to beat LSU? But I am. And Kory, I'll go this far. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Vanderbilt, after what happened against Alabama, and seeing what could have been, and I feel like Diego Pavia was a little too juiced up, too amped up, had his idol on the sideline with him. I think this team coming out of a bye, they are one of the best well-coached teams, extremely well-coached teams, one of the best coached teams in the nation with Clark Lee. He will have them locked in and ready. I think Pavia will make plays without trying to make plays in this.
It's going to be that easy.
Not necessarily that easy, but I feel like he was trying against Bama. You know what I mean? And ended up throwing interceptions, getting fumbles. I think this one, he'll take what's there. I think it'll be a different feel. You're at home, and it will be reminiscent of how they played against Alabama last year. I think we're getting one of those performances out of this Vanderbilt team. And with Ellis, and despite LSU having a great defense, I think Vandy will take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves. And I think LSU will continue to struggle offensively. They ran the ball a little bit better against South Carolina, but I have not seen enough for me to feel like, yeah, LSU is going to do the thing on offense. I don't like it. I don't like what's cooking out there in Baton Rouge. The gumbo don't smell right. The gumbo don't smell right. The jambalaya ain't hitting like it used to.
Ain't putting enough seasoning in it.
Yeah, nah. It ain't doing what it do. So the fish ain't fried right. It ain't fried hard enough. It's a little soft.
What are we doing down there in Baton Rouge?
That's what I'm saying. It must be because of Brian Kemp.
Come on now. I didn't come down there for unseasoned food. I came to Baton Rouge for good food. At a good time.
That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate. You know, the spices ain't spicing. But seriously though, I think Vandy has what it takes to truly expose. This will be the game that puts LSU fans in a tizzy. You barely lost to Ole Miss. All right, cool. That's one thing. You barely lost to Ole Miss, road game. Got it. If you get stomped out by Vanderbilt, the kind of heat that we expect from Bama fans when they lose a game, doesn't matter how, but just when Bama loses in general, that will be the heat you'll be hearing coming out of Baton Rouge and from LSU fans if they get embarrassed by Vanderbilt. And I think they will. I think Vandy puts it on LSU in this one, Kory. 34-17, easy dub for the Commodores.
Man, if that happens, Chris, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that whole state, I'll just go ahead and say the whole state of Louisiana will, they will sound the sirens. You will hear it from the Mississippi River all the way down to Lake Pontchartrain. You will hear it. Those people will be upset. And Brian Kelly is going to have to face. He's going to have to face those folks. It's not been kind to him this season, Chris. Look, I know he, jumped at a journalist's throat just by asking about the running game. Valid question. Still a valid question. Where is it? You lose this ball game. Yeah, you're gonna have to definitely have a town hall meeting or a State of the Union address about LSU football, just because you have not had the season that you envisioned in the preseason. And look, Vanderbilt's a really good football team. Diego Pavia is definitely the leader of that team, and he commands it each and every week, win, lose, or draw. And you show that respect at the end of the day. Everyone has so far. But, man, in terms of what you brought to the table, what you thought you were going to bring to the table, we just haven't seen it this year, Chris. So, I definitely get where you're coming from.
That is why Vandy's a favorite. This team, the talent on LSU does not warrant Vanderbilt being a favorite in any circumstance.
Yeah.
But Vegas sees. The odds makers see what we see as well, Kory.
Yeah, it's definitely eye opening. And look, maybe games are won on the football field. We always say that, Chris. Maybe LSU has something cooking this week. Don't see it. They're gonna have to show us. I'm with Vegas on this one. I think Vanderbilt is definitely going to show up and show out, and they're going to possibly put the pause to LSU unless LSU has something to stop Diego Pavia and his offense. When they're clicking on all cylinders, they are clicking on all cylinders. So I'm with Vegas. I'm with you, pal. It's going to be tough for LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I to see how this one plays out. And one last little nugget too, Corey. This is a noon kick.
Yeah,
LSU doesn't normally play well with noon kickoffs, Corey. They used to play it at night.
I know. Look, you're gonna have to get up early in the morning,
Or starting
Chris.
at 11 a.m. local time.
Yes.
This is Nashville. It's 11 a.m.
Yeah. Like, come on now. 11 a.m. in Nashville. No, I don't see LSU making it out of this game. I really don't.
I got a feeling it will be 14-0 at the end of the first quarter for Vandy. I think LSU's gonna come out a little sleepy.
Yeah, I think they are too. Shoot, I think they're gonna have crust in their eyes all the way until halftime. I think we're gonna be watching it, SEC Nation and everything. Darnoka and them, they're gonna be like, look, is LSU all right? You know, they ain't got up out their cot. Yeah, they made the trip. You know what's going on? You know, yeah. I think it's gonna be tough for LSU to even wake up and try to be motivated, just because we've seen this team so far this year just stumble, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we will see what happens with this ball game for sure. But Vanderbilt looking good right now, even with that loss to Alabama. So we'll definitely see what happens, Chris.
Agreed.
Yeah. Moving along, we have USC taking on Notre Dame. This game, Chris, I was contemplating on putting this game as one of our premier games of the week because it's one of those interesting ball games that definitely has some playoff implications. Look, if I would have told you in the preseason, Chris, to watch out for this game would probably be one of the interesting ball games that Notre Dame has this season, outside of a Texas A&M. You probably would have been looking at me like, what do you mean, Kory? And probably some of you out there, folks, will probably answer the same question. But
it is interesting. But we did give USC some love as a team to look out for in the preseason. We did.
Yeah. We did. But did we expect them to, break out in the way that they did? I mean, look what they did to Michigan last week. They took Michigan to the woodshed. I wasn't looking for that to happen. I was looking for a more competitive ball game.
Definitely. They did Michigan dirty. But in this one, Notre Dame is favored.
Yeah. By, 9.5. Over under is at 60.5.
Yeah.
That's a big over under.
That is a big over under. They are expecting points.
Yeah. And I believe it. Jay Miles, amazing quarterback right now. No one's talking about him.
And this could be his Heisman moment, Kory.
Definitely will. Could be.
This could be his Heisman moment. Because if he throws for like 4 touchdowns and USC gets to win, I think it's very well possible. I'm not going to say take the money line with USC. I will say take the points. I can see this being a back and forth affair, very tight game. There's something different about this USC team. The defense is much more physical. Seems like USC has gotten acclimated to Big Ten football. They're playing like a team that isn't Pac-12 team in the Big Ten, but a team that has a high-powered offense with a good defense, with the Big Ten defense. And if that is the case, they can make it quite interesting against a very talented Notre Dame team. And yes, they have lost to 2 top 10 teams. But maybe Notre Dame isn't that great. And maybe USC, a program, Kory, that truly and really is desperate to win this game. Because this rivalry might be extended if they don't. USC needs this one for more than one reason. And Lincoln Riley needs this one to establish the reset button that he put on this, on his tenure when he came to USC. He realized his defense wasn't cutting it, put a reset on things, and he has a quarterback too to go along with his defense, like you said, with Jaden Mayava. And I feel you got dogs at receiver. But Makai Lemon, that boy gonna be playing on Sundays.
Yeah, he's really good.
Jacoby Lane, like you got receivers, you got playmakers on this USC team. I think USC very well can win this game, but at the very least, I think it'll be close. I want USC to win. I want to say USC wins, but I'm not telling y'all to take money line. I would just encourage you to take the points, because USC can really put pressure on this Notre Dame defense and force Notre Dame's offense, and see what CJ Carr and company can do. It might feel a little pressure, and that could easily backfire.
Yeah, it definitely could. And hey, I think if you're Notre Dame, Chris, you gotta tighten up on defense. You gotta figure out a way to potentially stop Jay Maava, Kyle Lemon, all of those guys, because man, they're really good. They could hurt you if you look down and then look back up at the scoreboard, and the next thing you know, you're down by like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and you got to find your way back. Do you really want to put CJ Carr in that situation? Man, I think
and it takes away your best weapon, which is Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, and I love Jeremiah Love. I think what he brings to the game at the running back position is second to none. So if I'm Marcus Freeman, I'm definitely going to utilize Jeremiah Love in this game to shorten this ball game. I think that's one of the things that makes Notre Dame what they are this year, is their running game. Utilize Jeremiah Love, and still use guys like Grayhouse and company to extend drives, get downfield, to hopefully win you the ball game at the end. And try to you gotta tighten up on defense. If you can at least make some stops on defense, force Jay Maava to turn the ball over a couple times if you can. Really, keep him from buying that time. Make sure he doesn't have that much time, because if he does, that's where he can hurt you. And I think Michigan saw that firsthand last week when they played against him. That guy is a baller. If you give him time, he will hurt you. So definitely do that. Shorten the game. Stop Maava and company, and I think you can win the ball game. So we'll see what happens. But overall, USC, they're playing really good football right now, Chris, and it wouldn't surprise me at all by the end of the season we see USC, getting the opportunity in the postseason. I think everything is there for them to potentially squeeze into the postseason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think they have once they have a date. Do they have a date with Indiana later on this season?
I believe so. Let me look.
That could be a de facto playoff game.
It definitely could. Let me see. No, they do not have.
They don't. Hey, that's
Indiana.
Big for them.
That's big for them. Hey, can you imagine if we get USC versus Indiana as your Big Ten championship game?
Boy, that means some stuff that went down, boy.
It's not gonna happen. Ohio State folks are like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Oh man.
What
That would
happened?
be crazy. That would be a sight.
That would be a sight. I mean, look, I'm just gonna throw that up. That's a dark horse type of game right there.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
But yeah, this will be fun though, for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, those were your top 3 picks, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead and add in one more. I just wanted to do it.
Hey,
Yeah, look, we have fun here on the Breakdown Sportscast, folks. So, a bonus bet for Week 8. Mississippi State travels to Florida, Chris. The line has Florida at 9.5. Over under is at 51.5. Give me Mississippi State. Give me the money line on this one. I think Mississippi State is going to cover in this game, Chris. We've heard the rumors, of course. I know you're close by the area. I know you've heard the rumblings, as well as everyone else in the country, about Billy Napier and his job security down there for the Gators. Not looking good. Doesn't even look like the guys are even practicing hard. It seems like they know something is rumbling. I'm telling you, Chris, I don't know how Florida comes out of this game with enthusiasm, as well as Billy Napier coming out with enthusiasm, winning this ball game, in style against a Mississippi State team that's very feisty this year. This is not the same Mississippi State team that we saw last season.
and they're coming out of a bye.
And they found out that Fluff Bothwell is actually not injured for the rest of the season.
Essentially, getting Isaac Smith back in the second.
Yeah. You could get Albert Reese back, their top offensive tackle.
Things are shaping up for State. And I think Jeff Levy, you gave him a week to scheme up an offense to help out this O-line.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just be real. Hey man, Tennessee and Texas A&M, those are two of the best D-lines in the nation. Those two teams lead the SEC in sacks. Tennessee 1, A&M 2.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's right there. And they got half of their sacks in one game against Auburn. But yeah, Kory. I mean, look, if we're gonna play caller for play caller, I'm taking Jeff Levy 7 days of the week over Billy Napier. Respectfully. But seriously.
Respectfully.
Billy Napier ain't been it with the play calling, Kory.
No. It's definitely a lot of head scratching moments for sure. I've heard tons of Florida fans, especially after that game against A&M last week, and not taking advantage of different situations on the field. It's just a big blundering mess down there.
Florida fans said you need to take that damn headset off. Give it to somebody else. That's what I've been hearing out here in the Florida streets. They are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And that's when you know you're sick and tired. So yeah, Chris. I think this game is definitely going to come down to coaching. Definitely going to come down to who wants it more. And I got to be honest. I think Mississippi State wants this game more than Florida. I think Mississippi State fans want this game more than Florida fans. At this point now, you're Florida. You're just ready to just start on a clean slate and figure things out for next season because things have not went your way. That's the way I see it.
Kory. And I'll even go further. I think Mississippi State staff is a level, if not maybe two, above Florida staff when it comes to coaching the guys. You see Mississippi State's defense take huge strides. Coleman Hustler he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
People were ready to get him gone out of there last year, but no, we see a significant from this defense, and
Levy made the right decision.
he did. He made the right decision, and I feel like if Florida was well coached, your head coach wouldn't have rumors of him potentially being fired.
No, not at all. Not at all. It'd be the complete opposite. It definitely would be. But yeah, I definitely think Chris. These are two teams on two different trajectories. One is trending up. One is in the ditch.
Could you imagine that? 7 games into the season, if Mississippi State does win, 5-2 for the Bulldogs.
That's big. That's big. One game will get you bowl eligible. One more win. Just keep winning. Keep winning, baby. Just win, baby. That'd be big. That would be a huge step for the program. And Chris, we will be vindicated at that point because we had already started getting that feeling after the Arizona State game. Could this Mississippi State team have those strides like you saw last year with South Carolina making that run the way that they did? Could they look like Florida at the end of last year where they made strides? And you saw that the future was looking bright, only for the bottom to fall out. But I think for this Mississippi State team with Levy's second year, I think a win could start something monumental down there in Starkville.
For sure. For sure.
So yeah, those are our Bolton's bets for Week 8 of the college football season. I'm ready to watch these games this weekend, Chris. I think this is going to be a great one. And we'll be talking about all of the news, all of the hoopla, the fallout, the results that happen in Week 8 of the college football season.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man. Well, Chris, good sir. Always great to chop it up with you again, talking about some great college football. Always great to have you lovely folks out there tuning in. We appreciate you guys' support. Got some outros before we head out on today's show, Chris. I'll start off with you, sir. Let the good folks know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, I'll let your boy on X, or as I like to call it, Twitter, at Chris_Bolton_12, and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy. So it's a wonderful time of year right now. Basketball starting back, baseball's in the playoffs. Got some fun UFC fights. Of course, football is doing what it do. I mean, we're full blown in football season right now too. It's crossover season, but it's really football season.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time of the year. So holla at your boy.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely follow Chris on there. And yeah, folks, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. I like to call it as well. Listen to KSW. On there talking college football, professional wrestling, of course. Got some AEW coming up this weekend, so that should be fun. So yeah, definitely follow me on there, guys. But yeah, everyone, we appreciate you all listening to the show. As always, like I said earlier in the beginning, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely follow us on all of our social media applications. If you want to listen to past and present episodes of our podcast, you can listen to them on whatever you listen to your podcast. And definitely follow us. Then we'll be back on Sunday talking about Week 8 of the college football season. We'll be running down everything that happened on the week that was. So yeah, definitely be sure to keep it locked as Chris and I give you our thoughts on a great weekend of college football. But until next time, guys, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later. Peace.
Peace.